One. Hello, we are Geeks Assembled, and we've gathered here once again. And today we are going to talk about a 1980 film, which is Hawk the Slayer. And as you can see, Lee has always got Lee's got a DVD and everything. Even films that are coming out in 5 years' time, Lee's got them already on DVD. So let's go to Alex and Susan first to see what they made of Hawk the Slayer.
All right. Well, let me start off by saying, what awesome music! Wow, that guy Robertson, he freaking blew it up. It was like Jeff Wayne. It was like Yes. It was a bit like it was stellar. I was I enjoyed the music more than I enjoyed the movie, but I did enjoy the movie. Jack Palance as Zoltan and his brother Hawk the Slayer, and then there was this other guy who was their father, and he gave him this sword of power, and that was cool. That's the sword up there, right there. You see it? Anyway, and that's really the whole story. It's this one brother gets a sword, the other brother wants it, the other brother wants to kill a bunch of people because he's basically the Dark One, and not the Rumpelstiltskin Dark One that I love so much.
Oh, don't we just love Robert Carlyle, Susan?
I do, but But this other Dark One, who wasn't exactly as dark or as scaly or as pretty as the one that I love anyway. But that was fun. It was fun because we just reviewed Batman the movie with Jack Palance in it. So here we are, part 2 of our Jack Palance review week. And I enjoyed the movie, and so lots of fun. And here's Alex.
Yeah, I had seen this 2 times before. And it's interesting, too, because it seems like there's certain fans of this movie. They've tried to reboot it twice already this decade and last decade, and it didn't quite work. I don't know how they're going to do it, though. But in any case, fantasy swashbuckling has been pretty popular since time immemorial, even though they've had the Clash of the Titans and Game of Thrones and all those other better imitators, I guess. This has a good cast, and it has good pacing. Unfortunately, the music is pretty good, but the sets, the background, no, not too good. You can tell that they have no money. Jack Palance rarely gives a bad performance, and even when he does, you still love it. There was other movies that I was trying to show Susan that he was in, basically 10 minutes of screen time, and he still does a wonderful job. He just has that presence. He knows what he's doing. And in this movie, he's good too. The only other part, the sword fighting is good, and there's a lot of famous character actors in here, but it's just the pacing and the directing, and you can tell it's not quite on an even keel. And I don't know if that's the editing. I don't know if something else went wrong, but this is another enjoyable, bad but good movies. It's weird. It's one of those weird rhythm balance thing of a good movie or a bad movie. It's good. There's a lot of potential here. It's not reached, but it's still very enjoyable, and the cast is part of the reason. So it's not one of my favorite movies, but if you didn't have Jack Palance in this, I wouldn't be watching it.
Basically, dear viewer, if it's weird, Alex likes it. Sums it up. Right. Let's go to Harry. See what he makes.
I saw this movie on Cinemax here in the United States back in the early 80s. I enjoyed it back then. it's still not a bad movie. Not a great movie, but not a bad one. Palance is the main one who carries this movie. I mean, he may be the villain in it. You got the idea for Sword and Sorcery / Dungeons and Dragons fans. They're people who find this movie fascinating. They're the ones who really enjoy it. Palance, you just can't go wrong with Palance. I mean, if you want to see Palance in an interesting role, dig up his version of Jekyll and Hyde. He did a great job with that one. But the movie's not bad, but it's more the music than anything. The movie's not. The music carries the movie better than the actual film itself does. That's about the best I can say about it. And that's coming from someone who is both a D&D fan and a D&D player.
Yep, let's go to Ethan next.
Yeah, this is quite a weird and funny kind of film, isn't it? I'd never heard of it until Lee mentioned it and like said, this is what we're doing. I watched it, and yeah, I had a good laugh with it actually because of the way it is. It's got loads of great actors in it. My God, you got the blind sorceress who they keep going, woman. That was funny. That's Magneta from, I think that's how you pronounce her name, from Rocky Horror Picture Show. And you've got the
Magenta.
Sorry?
Yeah, Magenta.
Magenta, thank you. Yeah.
Also, she was in Doctor Who Dragonfire.
That's it. That's right. I remember now.
Patricia Quinn. Yes.
And you've got what's his name from the Carry On films as the Giant?
Bernard Breslow.
Yes, that's it. So you've got, and Jack Palance obviously as Volton, which so yeah, it's a great cast, really great cast, and they all sort of play it quite weirdly in different ways. Like you've got Drago's smug as hell. You're just like, I'm gonna get you, I'm gonna do this, kill you, and they all have it up in different ways. And you've got the elf who's somehow American, and then you've got a dwarf. Who's not really a dwarf. That's not a dwarf. That's just a small guy. But yeah, it is fun, unusual, swashbuckling movie. The soundtrack's brilliant. I definitely agree. Like the music's very good. It's very 80s synthesizers, and I love that stuff. So that was good. Yeah, and it had I'll get to moments in a minute, but. Yeah, I actually had a good laugh and enjoyment with it. I think just the way it is, it's not a bad movie. It's an unusual movie. But I think obviously that's what it is. It's like a B movie, ain't it? But I actually enjoyed it. Just for the way it was. Over to you.
Thank you. You seem very confused about it, Ethan. Let's go to Lee.
Well, yeah, this one, I first saw this, I mean, someone of a certain age in the UK would remember a cable channel back in the early 80s called Starview. And this was one of the movies, they used to have different movies every month, you pay for pay-to-view sort of thing. And Hawk the Slayer came up in the early 80s, and this is where I first saw it on the cable. I love all this fantasy, all the magic and stuff like that. Yes, it's not a very good movie, but it's become a cult movie, and I like the way on the DVD, because I actually eventually bought it. Was it Hawk the Slayer is the ultimate British B movie? So they're even advertising it as a B movie. But as people have said, brilliant cast. Annette Crosby, everybody knows from One Foot in the Grave, and Harry Andrews, Roy Kinnear, say Bernard Breslow from the Carry-Ons. Just loads and loads of actresses. Who say Patricia Quinn. I think is it Lady Patricia Quinn now or something like that. But also you've got W. Morgan Shepherd, who everybody knows as the father of Mark Shepherd, the actor. Morgan Shepherd appeared in a Doctor Who episode. Was it the Impossible Astronaut? Stuff like that. He's been about. I mean, he just recently died. I think was it this year or just late last year?
Late last year, Colin Delaware III.
Yeah, it was late last year.
Yeah. So he's in this as the one-armed archer. But and then you've got Jack Palance, who, as we've touched before in another cast, Jack Palance in any movie, as well, as other actors we know, chews up the scenery. He's one of those actors. He's there. He's just a big presence. And this, I think, for the company who did this movie to get Jack Palance was a big thing, because this movie was made by ITC. Anybody who knows, in the UK, ITC was a company what used to make TV series, like off the top of my head, that Space 1999, stuff like that. So, and rewatching this movie, you can see this would have been better as a TV movie, but it was theatrically released. But you can see the money wasn't there. They were riding the horses through the same trees every time, same cobwebs, same skulls on the trees. Brilliant. I mean, over the top acting. But it's a good movie. I'll quote Alex's favourite saying: "So bad it's good." But the only gripe I have got is the lead, John Terry. Very, very wooden acting compared to all the other wooden acting in this. He was on top of the league of the wooden actors, but and I don't know why whoever came up with the idea of the film to put electronic progressive synth rock music to a fantasy movie. The music's brilliant. I love the music. I love the movie. But for me, that music doesn't gel with the fantasy realm. It just doesn't go. But separate them. I love that, and I love that. You know what I mean? So that's my opening thoughts. Over to you, Alid.
And let's go to Beefhead.
I've been on at Lee about this for so long.
Oh, so we can blame you, can we?
Yeah. I'll tell you what, I will take everything. I will, and I will stand on a box and plant my flag and say, this movie and me ride and die till the end. It's fantastic, whatever it is. It's one of the, like I say, it's a movie for which the definition of cult was created. And it was an impactful movie on my childhood. It's one of these genres that they call swords and sorcery. And it was early 90s. Sorry, not early 90s, early 80s. 1980, in fact. Yeah, made basically on the budget of the change that you would find in your ashtray in the car. And it's tremendous. There is nothing, the music lifts it up something chronic, because it's like, it's prog music with synths and everything like that, sort of like synthesized pan pipes and everything like that, and it's tremendous. I listened to the music today while I was doing the shopping, knowing that I was going to be going back and watching this, and it was brilliant. It really is like, it inspires that feeling within you. That's something that takes you back, that nostalgia, that warm, great feeling inside. And it's one of those ones that if you've seen it, you'll stick with it, and it will stay with you. And that is, I think, the definition of what should be like a great cult, a great geek movie should be. I remember as an elder person now, not quite as old as Lee, but I look back on like drawings that I did when I was in primary school, and I drew the mind sword with the hand on the end holding the stone. That's an enduring image when you're a young kid and you watch that. I watched it before, I think probably Lee did. I didn't watch it on cable. I watched it, like I say, within a very short time of it coming out, in very early 80s when I was still at primary school. I still remember watching that. You know, I did pictures of the Jack Palance mask with like the half covered and the mesh covered eye. This came out in 1980, so there's a little bit of a post-Star Wars influence to it. They made Voltan's character a little bit Darth Vader-esque, but it is brilliant. It is brilliant. You know, the worst two actors, the most wooden actors in it, actually, are the American actors, which is the guy who plays Hawk and the guy who plays Crow, the Archer. But it's fantastic magic. It's a little bit a heist movie where we've got to put the team together and have the table of 5. So it's going round and finding these people and picking them up. And I'll tell you what, if you're a Doctor Who fan, you can go no better than this movie. Because I'll tell you what, there's more little subtle things. Back when Doctor Who was good, there's a lot of Doctor Who actors in this that you will blink and you'll miss them. So when you've got let's see, you've got the two guys tormenting the person, throwing the axes at them. One of them is Lytton from Resurrection of the Daleks. Yeah, you've got Gordon Henry Jago in there. You've got, like we've already said, Patricia Quinn. We've got all these massive Doctor Who alumni. Now, one of the things that I noticed watching it back today that even I didn't realise, but watching it back today, having this fantastic revisitation of my childhood years, is the art director of this, who was one of the greats of Doctor Who actually passed away last year, was Michael Pickford, who was the guy who designed the previous TARDIS, the good one. And, what more can you say? That I think that's an idea that if this is the guy who was the art director for it, and, going back to what I'm saying about my childhood experiences, where I drew this sword with, the hand that would float around, the mind sword, and, that very sort of enigmatic mask and very character-defining mask that you would have in this sticks with you, then that says something about the art direction, that this is actually a forgotten gem of British cinema. It is. America has things like the Beastmaster series. You have things like Red Sonja. You had Conan the Barbarian. Conan, what is best in life? Crush your enemies, see them run before you, hear the lamentation of the women. None of them, for my really things, would actually match up to Hawk the Slayer. Once you've dipped your toe into that water, you will never go back. They did try to do a sequel a few years ago. They tried to do a Kickstarter, Hawk the Hunter. I don't think it ever came to pass. But God, this is a great movie. It is. It's something that if you've not seen it, I urge anyone, if anyone ever watches this, to go out and just watch this and buy it, watch it. Because I'll tell you what, there's very few illegal sources where you can find a movie of this quality online. But even the soundtrack on YouTube, it's tremendous, tremendous value for what you get. There are some real great actors putting in the hours. You've had Bernard Bressel, who was, he was one of the original Ice Warriors. God damn it! This is Doctor Who without Doctor Who. This is Doctor Who with swords and magic. And you don't realise it until you've watched it afterwards and you look up everyone who was involved in the cast. It's a great movie. Ride or die, me and Hawk till the end, bro. Oh.
You just reminded me we should review He-Man, Masters of the Universe.
Hey, that's another tremendous movie.
Yeah. You just said Conan the Barbarian.
The power.
I'm up for that one. Yeah.
Ethan's really excited now. And what do you mean when Doctor Who was good? Come on, I like Series 11.
Each to their own.
And what about the rest, Doctor Who? The new series. It's been good.
Oh yeah, no, I'm
Oh,
saying that.
yeah.
I'm including that, and I'm saying Michael Pickford's design of the TARDIS and everything like that. And the TARDIS.
Yeah, no, he was great. He
Yeah.
was. Yeah, that was a good TARDIS design.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Peter Capaldi one. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's very good.
Well, and the Matt Smith one, but it just
Yeah, I prefer the Peter Capaldi one. The changes they made. Yeah, it's better.
Yeah. You're preaching to the choir there, my friend.
So this film must have done really badly in the box office for me to have never heard of it. Is that correct? Does anybody know what it got at the box office?
Do you know what? I don't know. It's because the thing is, I watched it at such a young age. Like, I think when you watch something like Star Wars or you watch something like Flash Gordon, if you're a certain age, I'm trying to think what it might have been for you. It might have been, I don't know, yeah, Care Bears, Caravan of Courage. It sticks with
Toy
you.
Story.
Toy
Story.
It travels on with you and stays a part of your DNA as you grow older. And I think that's what it is. It's not necessarily, you can't place a monetary value on great memories.
It's like Excalibur was to me.
What's wrong with Care Bears? What's wrong with Care Bears?
I didn't. I'm just making
No,
an
you're picking
analogy.
on Care Bears. What's wrong with Care Bears?
No, hey, look.
No, you're picking on Care Bears. There's nothing wrong with Care Bears. Nothing wrong with liking Care Bears.
Do you know
like
what
My Little Pony? There's nothing wrong with like My Little Pony.
The second movie where the Care Bear cousins show up and it's hug a lot and everything like that. I think it's
what's wrong with that?
It's great.
Exactly. So you like it?
I saw it in the cinema. I'm not going to lie.
Wow, that's an admission. That's an admission. So, has anybody checked up on what it got then? I thought Lee was checking up on what it got.
It doesn't state.
Yeah, it doesn't say.
So it did that badly.
Oh.
Yeah, it did. Anyway, I'm so glad it was Beefhead's choice. Because the last time we watched something, do you remember Space 99, which Beefhead liked? Was it Beefhead? No, it wasn't, was it? It was Tim.
Space 1999, god damn you, that's a tremendous TV show.
You're thinking of
Space Odyssey, that was it. Yeah.
Oh, that's a tremendous movie also.
I do.
He upset Texas Tim on that cast.
Yeah, I really upset Texas Tim in that cast by saying I didn't like it.
Good movies are wasted on the young.
What was that noise?
I'm sorry, I had something upsetting at lunch.
So,
are you racing hogs on your computer?
No, it's in my bowels.
In other words, he just passed wins, Susan. But luckily, you have been spared, Beefhead, because I have to admit, I didn't watch it.
For shame.
I didn't watch it.
Your life will never be enriched to the same level upon which all of the
I watched Batman today
with the other geeks who are assembled. Your life will not be so enriched.
So you've saved a crushing from me.
I like the witches of old. I could never be crushed. For shame for you assembling in the geeks. But you would. You're missing out on an experience. I think that's what it is.
It's an experience.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, but I've had enough experiences this week.
Okay, but that's fine. But you missed what may have been a great one.
I don't want a break.
I kind of agree. You kind of missed out, man.
I know.
I would tell you what. I would tell you what. Because this movie, I think, without someone in the UK making this movie, and like I said, it was made on the budget of what you would find literally like down the back of the sofa, basically films in wood. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Is without a movie like this, being made, and it's like one of these weird ones is that like it was like an independently produced movie by the guy who wrote it and directed it. Is that if you did not have the groundwork and stuff that was done by this, you may not have got something like Robin of Sherwood that you got in the middle of the 80s. And this was based. I do like to think that this was in part contributory to getting to that point, because you think, well, how do you sell like doing a sort of version of Robin Hood on TV or Ivanhoe? It worked when you were back in the 60s when you had William Russell doing Sir Lancelot, and you had Pat Troughton and you were doing Ivanhoe and stuff like that. Yeah, that was then. But how do you do it now? And everything like that, when, not being funny, everything's all about the 80s. How do you go back and do something like this? Because it created and met a market that was there and proved that you could do something with it and make mysticism quite cool, to be honest with you. So they did that. There was this resurgence of Dungeons and Dragons, and you could say Robin of Sherwood took style notes from this movie. So if you didn't have this movie, you would not have had Robin of Sherwood. Boom!
Right, okay. Let's go to favourite moments. Let's go to Harry. Because we started off with Harry.
I'd say my favorite moment was towards the end of the movie. Hawk is on the floor. His brother's got him down there. And he's forcing him to say his final prayers before he executes him. He's saying the prayers. He flashes his cross in front of him. Palance's character is feeling the pain. All of a sudden, out comes this little blade. Ding! The battle's back on again. I'd say probably the best movie of the movie for me.
Thank you, Harry. Let's move to Alex and Susan. Alex is just checking the comments, moderating them.
Thanks. Don't know really what my favorite moment is. The whole thing was kind of amazing. I think that when they got the Mind Sword, like that was cool. And then when he caused all those like laser blasts to come through the window or through the door with the snow following, the pew, 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 and then the snow, that was pretty interesting. And I love the music. The music has to be, honestly, my favorite part of the whole thing. And I guess the swordplay was fun too. But those are actually my favorite moments.
Well, as I said, you have a lot of character actors that have now moved on to better things. You have Jack Palance, or however you pronounce his last name. He's great in this. He's chewing up the scenery. You have the other thing that is interesting and weird about this movie is that almost everybody's on a different keel with the way they read their lines. So you kind of wonder, was there 5 directors in this movie that weren't credited? I mean, it's a little... But I do like the sword fight at the end. The sword fight at the end was actually very good, as a matter of fact. So, yeah, I mean, obviously, it could have been even worse than this. It wasn't. It's not the best. And again, that's why that's why you enjoy watching movies and TV shows, is that they're not all at the same level. They're not all at the same level. But I could see what they tried to do. They just didn't have the budget and the good direction to do it. If they could have had a really good director, this probably would have been a really great movie. And it is fun, and it is enjoyable, but it's just not it's not on an even keel. But that's okay. Sometimes you can enjoy that as well. That's what I mean by so bad it's good. You can watch it and you go, this part, no. This part, yes. Like the music is cool. And the sword fights are cool, and Jack Palance is very cool. And the nuns are cool as well. But even the dwarf is kind of cool. Yeah. The dwarf is cool as well. And it's kind of like, this makes you want to go and see Game of Thrones for Peter Dinklage. You know, it sort of inspires a little bit. It inspires a little bit. so that you go, it's like reading a book. You kind of go, well, if I could get something a little better than this, I'll go to the second level, whatever. You know what I mean? It's just, but yeah, I've seen this before, and before I was very critical of this movie. But like I said, it's, everything's not at the bottom, everything's not at the top. So
take your shoes off, make yourself comfy, and just enjoy yourself.
Yeah.
Right, let's move on to Ethan for favourite moments.
Everybody's already mentioned the music. I mean, the music's great. Music's brilliant. I do agree with Lee. It doesn't seem to quite gel with the sword and sorcery and the synthesizing electro pop music, but and I just thought, no, that's a bit strange, but the music's great. Jack Palance, he's just enjoyable. He just chews up all the scenery big time, and he's just fun to watch. He's always good to watch anyway, but he is one of those actors that chews up everything. But, I did quite like the introductions of the giant, the dwarf, and the elf. They were pretty good and funny and stuff. And even like the scene where the dwarf is tricking the giant about the chicken, and he's like, "What? Oh, you might not like it. It's holy. It tastes a little different." Whereas, of course, it's just a normal chicken. He's just stealing it. That was pretty funny. One bit that actually made me howl with laughter was the bit with the blind witch, sorceress, where I think it was near the end, wasn't it? Where there's a guy, the door opens up, and there's a little stick coming out, and the guy's like, "What the hell's that? What's that?" And it shoots silly string out. All the silly string. I just fell on the floor laughing at that because I was thinking, what's a silly string? He's just standing there covered in green silly string. That was hilarious. And I love the usage of those glowing balls that the witch kept using. Like, there was the fight in the forest and they're all getting ready like, "Oh, here they come. I'll get ready." And suddenly the glowing balls, and there's all the smoke. I gotta admit, the editing made it quite funny, some of the fights, because you're trying to like, who's winning? The final fight was fun to watch. Just the fact there's all this like confetti and smoke and all the bouncy balls came out.
It's all in slow motion as well, you may have noticed.
Yeah, slow motion, all the bouncy ball, the glowing bouncy balls, hundreds of them. I'm thinking, where did they come from? But that was pretty fun and stuff. I mean, I couldn't make out like who's winning and who's dead. I'm still wondering, did the elf live? I know the one-armed man got killed, but I'm like, what about the elf? Ooh, did the elf live?
Yes, the elf lived.
Yeah.
Yeah, the nuns were going to look after him until he recuperated.
Yeah. It's a shame the dwarf died, because I quite liked him, actually. I thought he was pretty funny. I actually thought this is going to be my favourite character. Boom! No, he's dead.
It's Game of Thrones before Game of Thrones.
Yeah, I was going to say it's Game of Thrones. Don't fall in love with your characters because they're going to go quickly.
That's funny.
But the sword fight at the end was good with Jack Palance. But yeah, I think those are probably my I think those are my favourite scenes. Yeah, over to you guys.
Right, let's go to Beefhead.
My favourite scene is the bit where it starts and then the bit where it ends, and all the bits in between, because it's just great. And yeah, I just had pleasure upon pleasure just seeing all of this back and reliving my childhood. Like Nathan said, the stuff between Bernard Bresslaw, the giant and the dwarf, there's that great sort of character banter between the two of them. Really does make some good stuff. I like the putting together of the table of five. So it's like getting all these guys together. Bernard Bresslaw, I've got to say, is brilliant in this. And all, for want of a better description, the UK actors really knock it out of the park, because they commit. I think is the best way to describe it in an acting sense. They commit to their parts, and regardless of whether you think it's cheesy, schmaltzy, or just not good at all, they're just like invested in it and they go for it, and they're not phoning it in. So, you have the bits where they're all hiding behind trees or pillars to try and ambush the hunchback. I love the bit where Bernard Bresslaw basically has the hunchback slave trader and said, "Oh, you love your club so much," and then he suspends it from the tree and puts the thing in his mouth and just basically banters on and say, "Well, maybe one of your slaves comes back, he might want to come back and chat, and maybe he might let you go." And there's the bit where he basically just like can't keep his mouth shut, and that's it. The guy, meets his untimely end by his own means. There's some great stuff with him there, where he like fixes the wagon. And the guy agrees to pay him, and then he sort of like says, "Oh, I'm going to knock you." So then basically what he does is he knocks the wheel back up and says, "Now we're even." And there's so many great little touches in this. And it is a movie of great moments, to be honest with you. That there is, I like I said, Robin of Sherwood, like we said, Game of Thrones. There is a resurgence in this sort of thing, and I think this is a forgotten classic that will be found again. That without this movie came out before Krull as well. Krull didn't come out till a couple of years later, and Krull is considered in a lot of circles as a classic because it is still that sort of swords and sorcery type thing. And Bernard Bresslaw was in that as well, playing the Cyclops. So you have to, there has to be credit where credit's due and respect given to this movie that I think a lot of people just, if you don't know it, then it's one of those ones that someone say, yeah.
Yep, he froze.
Get me some of that, mind sword and everything like that. And it's a happy piece of fun that is traded between geeks, nerds, and everyone feels much better for it at the end of it. No one comes away from feeling and saying, "Do you know what? Yeah, it was horrible. I hated that. That was a bad movie." You can go to the cinema now and go watch a movie and you'll pay top dollar for it and say, "Do you know what? Yeah, I didn't actually have fun. I just felt a bit depressed at the end of it." You can watch this and have fun. And it harks back to a simpler time. Nostalgia's great. But it is. There's every scene, there's a positive aspect to take away from it because no one's really either aping it for laughs. Everyone is committed to it seriously, to the point is that the people who do MST3K, people who do, Riff Tracks did a very famous version of this. I haven't had a chance to watch it because I just love the original version too much. I don't need to hear people talking over it to add to my enjoyment of the movie. It is a great, great watch. To just say, take me back to a time where films were just unashamedly fun, and that's what this movie is.
You can watch it and have fun, unlike these casts.
Like, share, subscribe.
Yeah.
Opos.
I like our cast.
Did
Someone asked to.
let me ask
We
you.
found the one.
Did everybody feel like the cast was having fun making this movie?
No, absolutely not.
I thought they were. Seemed like they were having a great time together.
Yeah. So that's the other.
Jack Palance probably showed up for 5 days, said, "Yeah, here we go." Yeah. Then, maybe went back to his 3-star hotel. And
Well, actually, I was trying to show Susan some other movies that he was in that were actually technically and story-wise worse than this movie, and that's saying something.
exactly. City Slickers 2, The Legend of Kelly's Gold.
Well, yeah, but I was actually talking about Angel's Revenge, but that was one from the 70s as well.
I worry about the sort of movies you may be showing Susan in private.
Oh, we all know what he's showing Susan in private.
Very funny. Because that's another thing as well. Even though people may not like this movie, they weren't bored watching it, and that might be another fun thing about the so bad it's good, that it's not at the best level, but it's still fun to watch, and it's still interesting to watch, but not interesting like the Americans say it or we say it, meaning that it's, mediocre. There are parts of this movie could have been done better. If it had more budget, it probably would have looked a lot better. But you have to admit, the cast seems to be having a lot of fun, even if it's not 100% consistent.
And
Right. Oh, yeah, go on.
and the brilliant thing is that it was sort of ahead of its time. I mean, it did lead off all of the sweet mythic movies about swords and sorcery and sword fights and archers and stuff. I mean, yeah, he was Hawk the Slayer was like the ahead of the curve in that, and perhaps led the curve. Perhaps like sowed a seed there. I I can't remember all the sword, all those movies that I used to watch, but the one that Excalibur was the cast, as rich a cast as this, but it had big budget, and it was done. It wasn't done, as Beef said, like with the change in the sofa. It was done for huge amounts, and so that one is different. Anyway, that's all I wanted to say.
Can we go to Lee now, Susan? Yep, let's go to Lee.
What are you coming to me for? What are we talking about? Oh yeah, favorite moments. I agree. I say nostalgia is a good thing. It's I agree with Beefhead. I enjoy the beginning, the end, the middle. It's it's not a multi-million-pound dollar Hollywood blockbuster. You take it for what it is. And I totally agree with what he says about without this movie, you wouldn't have got Robin of Sherwood, made by the same company. So I can see where Beefhead was going with that one. I mean, there's a scene where they're burning the witch, played by Patricia Quinn, and you've got a young Warren Clark there, if everybody knows him from DL and Pasco. I mean, there's faces after faces what pop up in this movie, and you think, oh yeah, I know them. Oh yeah, I know her. It's just a very good British ensemble, with a couple of American actors in this, lead actors. And I agree. This sort of set off the fantasy. So I'm trying to think of a fantasy movie like this before 1980. I know we had all the Sinbad movies and stuff like that, and I'm trying to think, was there anything like this? Elves and giants. And to be honest, I, off the top of my head, I can't think of one. So, but if you're out there and you can think of one before 1980, let us know. Yeah, I like this. It brings back memories. Is it a good movie? Is it one of these good movies of what everybody goes to see? No, and I wish it was, because I think more people should know about this movie. As Beefhead said, more people know about Krull than this one, which is a shame. But try and get it out there. Hawk the Slayer it is a good movie. Badly made, maybe, but as Ethan said, the editing, is a bit iffy every now and again. But yeah, I like it. It's a good movie, and anything with Jack Palance in it, anyway, is got a big thumbs up from me. Over to you, Alid.
Thank you, Lee. And let's go to final say and score, because I think Harry's desperate to get out of here. Let's start off with Harry.
Best I could say for this movie is, you haven't seen it, It's not a bad movie. Find it, watch it. Rating on it, I give it a 6.
Let's go to Alex and Susan. Caught them off guard then.
Yeah, you totally caught me off guard. I was looking at the trying to find one of the earlier movies about fantasy, just like Lee was like sort of challenge accepted, but I was unable to find something before 80. So you're right again.
Just type in list of fantasy films. Just type in
right. And so anyway, I will give this I'll give this an 8.5 out of 10. Pretty dang sweet, and I enjoyed listening to it as much as watching it. And I sort of wanted my own mind sword, so here's my own mind sword. Anyway.
Yeah, like I said, I mean, I saw this 3 times. The first 2 times I didn't like it except for Jack Palance. He pretty much makes the movie. It does have a great cast. It does have interesting music. It is trying. It just the editing and the budget, and I forgot about the 10,000 arrows or whatever that fly around the screen.
That guy.
Yeah, that's a good try. It's not the best execution. But again, I mean, I've seen so many bad movies, I actually forgot some. But like I said, the actors are committed. The actors are having a good time in this movie. I don't know if it was the directing or the budget or the editing or the cinematography. It just kind of misses the mark. But again, if this started off the chain of the fantasy movies that weren't animated, then I suppose we just have to take it. I will give it a 7. I'd give it higher if they could have done better with the direction and the editing. Like I said, it does have a good cast. Character actors have to be in some real clunkers as well. There's very few actors that haven't been in any bad movie or any movie that hasn't been well received. And, that's the school of it. It can't all be at the bottom. It can't all be at the top. So it's an interesting movie. It's interesting to watch and take a little bit of notes. Like I said, it is a good cast, and they are committed. It's just the directing, the editing, and the cinematography is kind of lacking. Sorry to say.
All right, let's go to Ethan.
Yeah, thinking back and watching it this morning, I agree with what Beef and Lee said. Nostalgia is a great thing, and it does remind me of a simpler time where you could just have fun watching a movie. And did I have fun watching this movie? Yeah, I did actually. It's not, as we know, it's not perfect, but the way it's done, there is something positive. And as Beef said, you do get something positive out of this. And yeah, and I think that's what you need. People forget to just get your shoes off, lay back, and watch and enjoy a film for what it is. So I'm actually going to give it a 7 out of 10. I did enjoy it, and anything with Jack Palance is a good thumbs up as well. As Lee said, it's a thumbs up. But yeah, that's my take on it.
7 out of 10. Is Beefhead going to go lower or higher than a 7? Let's find out.
You know me so well. I'm only going to go higher. This is a 10. Yeah, you and I are all deluded. This is a 10 out of 10 movie.
We're definitely deluded. That's for sure.
This is there. Like I say, with ones that are tattooed across my heart and my soul to the end of days. This, Flash Gordon, everything like that. Yeah. Okay. Do you know what? How much money did the Lord of the Rings trilogy make. And you had an archer, an elf archer, who would like, ting, 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 ting. Yeah, do you know what I mean? This did it first. I'm telling you, it's one of the greatest forgotten classics of cinema. Be it British cinema, be it cinema as a whole. There has to be a origin point. There has to. And the thing is, this is, as much as it's Sorcery, like I said, it's a heist movie as well. It's a bank robbery movie because it's putting the crew together to go and rob the slavers of the money. And you have to go through and you have to get the different members of the crew, and every members of the crew do everything like that. So it's a bank job movie as well. It's cleverer than you actually give it credit for. And there you go. That's me being super meta and super intellectual about something that probably doesn't deserve to be that intellectual about. This is a tremendous, tremendous movie. I defy anyone to watch this and not find themselves whistling along with the music as it goes. It is. It's one of those ones that would be, for want of a better description, the old grey whistle test. That you watch this and you will find yourself whistling it 20 minutes after you've finished watching the movie. It's beautiful. It's magnificent. It's a treasure for the ages. It should be protected. It should have more plaudits than it ever gets. I'm glad in one way that it's an exclusive club that only a few people actually get to be admitted to. Sorry, Aled, you're not in the gang. It's your fault. Yeah, you could have watched it. I feel your life would be enriched as a result. It really is tremendous. You will enjoy it. Shame on you for not watching it. It's a 10 out of 10. It's emblazoned across my heart. Me, Flash Gordon, it's Voltan, it's everything you want. Anything with V's, it's brilliant. V, all the way.
Since it's got high praise from Beefhead, I know it's crap. Let's go to Lee. I know it's awful.
It's not like season 11 bad.
Whoa!
I like season 11.
Season 11 did not suck, dude. Did not
like
suck. Really good, actually.
I like it.
Excuse me, it's my go.
It's really good. Doctor
No, it's not.
This movie.
It's not until I say so.
It's my go. And
go back in your box.
To quote what you just said, everything beginning with V is good. VD, no.
I was going to say something else beginning with V, but I'm not going to say it.
Vodka tonic.
Vodka tonic.
Yeah. Vodka and Coke.
Can I go? It's my go now, is it? You letting me go?
Valium's good for you.
Yeah. While you was all talking and Beefhead sort of jolted my memory of school days about this movie, my English literature class came to me just while we was talking this. I wrote a sequel to this.
Hey?
What? You know, for my exam thing, we had to write a story. And I wrote a sequel called The Forgotten Realm.
Holy crow!
Yeah, it's not real. It didn't go into production or anything like that, Susan. It wasn't official.
What is West of Westeros?
Here's Lee generating fans.
No, but it was my. I was influenced by this movie when we was doing our English lit sort of exam, and we all had to write something, and I did a sort of a sequel with the characters. What was in? Have
you only just remembered that then? You only just remembered.
No, it's when Beefhead mentioned about when he was younger and he did this the drawings and stuff like that. And
yeah, but you're a lot older than he is.
Not a lot old. He's only about 4 years younger than me.
Is he?
No,
God, you've had a tough life.
I'm just amazingly well preserved.
No, he's 9 years younger, I think. But yeah, and that's it. Just brought that memory. But yeah, I agree. To me, it is a good movie. It is forgotten. For me, as I said before, the music. I love the music. I love the movie, but for me, the music in the movie just doesn't go. So just for that, I'm giving it a 9. It's still a good score.
Tell us what the plot was for your sequel, then.
Well, it was The Forgotten Realm. I had the witch, I had Hawk, and I had the giant. because they were the ones. And well, you won't know because you didn't watch it. But at the end, Volton's body was taken away.
Well, I don't need to watch it now.
Oh, now I'll tell you what happened.
His body gets taken away. There we are.
You know, you had to do it. You had to do this essay in not essays.
Yeah, I know.
So many words.
Schools have always done it. Yeah, where you have to write a short story. Yeah.
This is what I did.
Go ahead.
And that's testament then to how, if a movie is bad, but if a movie is good, it leaves you with something after you've watched it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but this is Lee we're talking about.
No, but what I'm saying is,
it sparks your imagination.
If it inspires imagination and creative thought, and that you will take it into something that you do, like Lee said, he did an exam or something like that, and it can add that sort of inspiration and to someone, then you're doing something right. Because I don't think there are going to be many kids at school who are going to be writing Fast and Furious stories in their exams. That's it. It inspires thought, and you take it. It stays with you. If something stays with you and inspires you onto something else, then you're doing the great works.
I mean,
like the Care Bears. The Care Bears.
The Care Bear, exactly. The Care Bear cousin Cool.
well,
Care Bear Cher.
yeah, like
Cher. I love Cher. She's doing a tour. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Okay, Cher trigger word. Yeah.
I honestly, I watch Cher videos all day.
No, but this did
Yes, she
inspire.
does. She's doing a tour, Alex.
Yeah.
Don't say no. She is.
This did inspire a fandom, and it's funny that all the cult movies, all the so bad that it's good movies, it inspires the fandom in a way. It does. So Beef is right. As far as the plot and the characters go, this does have something. It's just the execution wasn't as good as it should have been. But if you're talking about a movie, 35 years later, it can't be all that bad if people are still talking
Nearly
about it.
40.
40. There you go. So there you go. I mean, Jack Palance, too. He admitted in interviews that he was in some bad movies, but he even said, if some fun can come out of it, I get paid too. It's not a bad day, So
I remember The Black Hole was another bad film we watched.
That's another one that I said ride or die. I'm sorry.
There's one that's earlier,
On the black hole.
but it's complete rubbish, and it's called Zardoz
Oh, Zardoz.
Hey?
with Sean Connery.
A giant floating head that vomits guns. What could I say? How more American can you get? That's a great movie as well.
Yeah.
But
He really does like all these terrible films.
Hey, you say that. Helen Slater's Supergirl is another personal favourite of mine, and if you ever choose to do that, I'll be here petitioning with that one as well to the end.
Yeah, we're never doing that.
Well, there you go. Once again, you're lost from a movie that you may not have seen that is tremendous.
I've seen it's awful.
It's great. It's great. If you're watching this as well, go back and watch the previous review of which we did of The Black Hole as well, which is a tremendous movie. Please don't listen to Alan. The Black Hole is a great movie.
I was going to say
It's absolutely not.
Films.
See, there you go. See,
It's one of your favourite films. Was you on the cast?
I actually do like The Black Hole.
Ethan agrees with me. He should go back and watch the review. He didn't even.
You know the Black Hole we're talking about, the Disney one.
Ethan, have you not watched the Geeks Assemble review of The Black Hole?
I've watched it. Yeah, I know he doesn't like it.
Yeah, then you know that I love it.
So you're the one viewer of that cast. Did you leave a like?
You see.
He liked, shared, and subscribed.
Yeah, but now that's a TV series by CBS and stuff. Even that inspired another TV show.
Yeah, but now it's in my head. This is going to pop up sometime. along the route where we may do this now.
I'm there, dude. With
I'm
Bill.
there as well. I'm going to be there as well.
You think, never mention a movie, and I know that I've got it somewhere. 'Cause
I'm there with Peter O'Toole and the Omega Hedron.
What did you just say?
Supergirl.
Supergirl with Helen Slater, the Argo City, the Omega Hedron, Laura Lee, and Peter Cook, which is it's a tremendous movie.
And Faye Dunaway was in that movie as well.
Exactly.
Yep.
But anyway, over to you, Alid. You
Alan, do you want to score the movie you didn't watch?
Hey, say again?
Do you want to score the movie you didn't watch?
Yeah, actually I will. Actually I will. I'm going to give it a... I'm going to give it 2.
Yeah.
I'm going to give it 2.
Your vote doesn't count.
All votes...
Ouch.
all votes count.
It's like Eurovision. Don't care.
Yes, all votes count.
Eurovision.
Yeah.
And my 2 points goes to
You're just like
Hulk the
Belarus.
Slayer.
You're just like Belarus. Your votes don't count.
But we are democracy here in Geeks Assembled.
More than others.
Eh? More than mothers.
Others.
But,
I thought you said more than mothers. I thought, whose mother? So yeah, it's getting a 2. I mean, it's cheap, it's tacky, it's poorly edited.
You say that,
It's got bad acting.
But you didn't watch it.
I did watch it.
Did you? Well, there you go. There's more Doctor Who.
It was awful.
There's more good Doctor Who.
It's still awful. It's still awful.
What do you mean? I said it's got the Matt.
I don't care who it's got in it. Could have the Queen in it. Anyway, I'd like to thank everybody here for joining me. I'd like to thank you for watching. I advise you never to watch this film or any other film Beef suggests.
It's such an argument.
Look after yourself. Take care. And we will see you next time.
Subscribe, leave a comment in the down below about how many great movies.
Don't listen to him.
like
Don't leave any comments. Do not watch this video.
Watch this.
Turn the video off now.
Talk to
Turn it
Slayer.
off.
It's great.
Do not subscribe.
I'm coming around the house. I'm going to find you.
Do not comment. Who's gone?
I'm going to be on your sofa watching Hulk the Slayer. Come downstairs. It's in the middle of the night. You're in bed on your phone.
Look what you've done. You drove and Harry out.
Guess what? I'm downstairs in your lounge.
Hey, calm down. You've driven Harry out.
No, well,
Oh, maybe.
it's not a bad thing.
You better hope he didn't watch this back.
He never.
And we'll be seeing you in a week. Bye, guys.